name's Terry with Wildcrafted Wines, and today I'm going to give you a really basic tutorial of how to taste wine. This is for folks that have never had any training on how to taste wine, so it's very basic, it's for beginners, but we all have to start somewhere. So when tasting wine, first of all, the glass that you use is really helpful. You really don't want to start out drinking wine from, say, a water glass, a paper cup, all the things we've all done maybe at some point in our life. But if you really want to experience wine, experiencing wine is a little different than tasting it. If you really want to experience wine, you really should get a glass that's made for drinking wine. Usually a nice thin crystal. It has a bowl or a shape is similar to this. There are some others depending on the type of wine. The next thing you want to do is pour your wine into the glass. You don't want to pour it all the way up, to the rim. Putting it down low, usually no more than where the bowl starts to just go straight up, is where you want to be. And the reason is, there's a lot, you'll see as we go through this, there's a lot of reasons for that. So for tasting, there's a couple of things. First, people will tell you, you really need to check the color. Right? So you would take the glass, tilt it, put it up against a very light background, maybe something white, and look at the color and check the color. Color can be a good predictor of how a wine's going to taste, but sometimes it can really fool you. Now every wine, every varietal of wine, say a Cabernet versus a Pinot Noir versus a Merlot versus the white wines, a Chardonnay, a Sauvignon Blanc, has different characteristics in its color. So you would have to learn for each varietal what the colors mean. But in some of the red wines, most of the time darker reds are an indicator of something that's going to be a more powerful, strong tasting wine, for example. I'm not going to go too much into the colors now, because like I said, there's a whole lesson in that. But let's just get to the tasting. So as you know, tasting is very much affected by smell. Whether it's wine or anything that we eat, smell affects our taste. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to get the bouquet. What is the bouquet? The culmination of all the scents that are in this wine. And the first thing you want to do before you do anything is get a good smell. And don't be afraid to get close to the wine and really smell it. And don't do it just once, do it more than once, do it 2 or 3 times. Now, sometimes it's necessary if you're not really smelling much or it's not that strong of a scent, you want to swirl the wine. That will release the scent. So swirling, really all you want to do is roll your glass in a circle to get it to swirl. And that'll mix it with air and then get in there and smell it. And you'll notice that that releases a lot more of the bouquet of the wine. That also will start to help you in the tasting because now your senses are starting to sense this wine. And then you don't want to drink this like you drink maybe a soft drink or juice or beer, where you like to take a really big gulp and swallow it. With wine, to experience it, you want to take a little bit of the wine to begin with and leave it in your mouth for just a little bit. Maybe swirl it around, move it around a little bit, because different parts of your mouth will sense different things. We all have a different number of taste buds, first of all. Some people will sense a lot more than others. So don't worry if you aren't sensing more than your friends you're tasting with. The tip of your tongue will sense a little bit more if there's sweetness to the wine, whereas the sides of your tongue will notice a little bit more about whether or not it's acidic, or almost like a little biting sour. I don't know if it's so much sour, but a little biting taste. Then there's tannins. You probably have heard of tannins. If there's a lot of tannins in your wine, and we won't go into why they're there or anything like that, you'll feel almost what they call the pucker effect. It makes your mouth go like this. And red wines are known to do that, some really bold red wine. The finish is really about how long you can continue to actually sense that wine after you've swallowed it. And I like a really long finish, so I like it to go on, and I would continue to taste the wine even after I've swallowed it. And sometimes after I swallow the wine, I will just close my mouth and breathe out through my nose, and it almost forces you to really sense the finish even more. So in closing, I just want to wish you well with your next experiences, and certainly feel free to give us a call anytime if you want to discuss what you experienced. Can we provide other wines that will have other experiences? So thank you and have a good day.